What is up, everybody? It's Steven, back with another video with Nick. Nick, it's Mock Draft Monday.
Hell yes, it is, and I am super excited to take everybody to the cleaners. Hopefully you're ready to go too.
Nick and I will be doing a 12-team PPR redraft mock draft here today. The date is Monday, June 30th. So a big trade went down today. That was the Steelers trade, Jalen Ramsey for Minkah Fitzpatrick, and also Jonnu Smith goes to the Steelers as well for a late round pick. So I'm not sure if Sleeper has accounted for that yet, but we're just going to do a mock draft regardless. We asked Siri where we should be picking. Nick got 12 and I got 10. So Nick, like I said, I'm going to be sniping you all draft. So
I got to throw some curveballs then.
So yes, it is a 12-team PPR mock draft, and let's just hop right into it. There we go. My screen is shared. Let's hop right into it.
Heck let's yeah. Number one's Jamar Chase. Yep, there we go. 2J Jettas. Oh, Barkley.
Saquon, CD.
Lamb ahead of Jettas. Wow. Blasphemy happening in the draft already.
All right, so I am on the clock, and if you had, we just recorded a video of guys I'm fading. One guy, not spoiling it, he's on the board there. I am not going to take him. I instead am going to be taking someone that, you know what? We're gonna go a little different today. We're gonna go with Nico Collins. I really like Nico Collins this year. I think he's going to bounce back or not even bounce back. He had a fantastic season last year. Just some injuries. Injury bug kind of nagged him down a little bit. But year 3, CJ Stroud, Nico Collins, I'm a fan. I really like that. And I think I can get the guy I really want at the turn. So Nick, you're on the clock. Who's catching your eye here?
To be honest, it's redraft. So you want to go with the normal names. But it is PPR, so I'm a bit worried about those wide receiver extra points. So you know what? I really want to go Genty here. But you know what? I'm going to go with the safer of the picks. Tight end number 1, Brock Bowers. I think that what Vegas has in him is going to be a decades-long tight end. Not only is he dynamic in the pass game, but he is also a pretty good blocker. He's not the best blocker. He's not George Kittle out there, but he'll go out there and be able to haul in the safety balls that Geno Smith is going to have to throw out there. And because I did that, that means I can't take Ashton Genty. I'm not double dipping on the same team. Absolutely not. So for that reason, I've got some options. Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, Devon Achane. And to be honest, Drake London's there. I really, really like Drake London. But here, I got to go safe. And, of course, I got a homer just a tiny bit. So I'm going Christian McCaffrey, running back for the 49ers.
All right. Well,
and look at that.
I was going to be sniping you. I was now sniped. I was about to take Christian McCaffrey with my first overall pick. He is my 8th overall player, and this is prime example of why you should just take your guys. Don't get cute with it. I tried getting cute with it, and thought McCaffrey would fall back to me at the 203. He didn't, but it's not the end of the world. I get to get a guy who I really like as well. Not as much as McCaffrey, but I'm going to take Derrick Henry of the Baltimore Ravens. I think he's in for another 1,700-yard season with double-digit touchdowns. I'm a fan. I like to get 203. And some interesting picks we can see here. Genty. So a little running back run that we just went on as McCaffrey, Bucky Irving went between us, Henry, Genty, Achane, and then Jacobs in the second round. I am now on the clock, and we got our first three quarterbacks off the board. Lamar Jackson ahead of Josh Allen. That is pretty surprising to me. Jaden Daniels at the 309.
If this is the year for Lamar Jackson, though, it's this year.
Yeah, I mean, he's been balling for fantasy football. You can't really hate on it. Me personally here, I am going to go with. Should I switch it up?
You're in an interesting place, man, to be honest. Derrick Henry and Nico Collins is a great start to a dynasty franchise. And this being redraft, you've really got a great team ahead of you.
Yeah, I like going with the wide receiver, running back. I could literally take my team in any direction right now, and I am going to. You know what? We're just going to play it safe. I am just going to take top ranked guy here according to Sleeper, and he's my top ranked in my rankings at this point, and that is Terry McLaurin. Right after his quarterback gets drafted in Jaden Daniels, I really like
Ooh.
Terry McLaurin. I think he's going to have another fantastic season. Not much competition was added around him this offseason. I mean, they got Deebo Samuel, but it doesn't really scare me. I think Terry McLaurin's going to have another fantastic season. I was between him and Mike Evans, who just went after me. Nick, you're on the clock, and you could go anywhere with this pick also.
To be honest, there's some places I'm looking. Okay, obviously we're looking on the board. That first name right there, Marvin Harrison Jr. I love
I was
the
jumping
physical
out.
change. Yeah, that's happened to his body. I'm so excited for that. And same with the name after that, James Cook. I'm excited for that. But whether or not it's something that's going to win me the league this year, I'm not sure. I do see that we have 2 flexes, which means I can get some extra running backs. So for that reason, I think I'm going to go a little crazy here. You know what? I will take Marvin Harrison with that first pick. I think it's got to be. It's got to be the way that I go here. I need the wide receiver. It's PPR. I got Bowers, who's going to be the target machine. I think Harrison could also be that because, to be honest, after him, there's not a whole lot of wide receiver help. There's a bunch of names that you probably wouldn't want on your team. But after this, I have to go right back to the running back well. I have to go with the rookie, Omarion Hampton. I mean, the Chargers are going to put him in a place to succeed. The target share is going to be there, and I understand that there's some guys behind him, but Omarion Hampton is a rookie. I understand this is redraft, but I'm still looking at what he is now, what he's going to be next year, and what he's going to be 5 years from now. In redraft, he's a running back number 1. In Dynasty, he might be running back number 1 at the end of the year. We're not sure. But him and Christian McCaffrey is a solid start for me.
I really like the Omarion Hampton pick. I think he's a safe pick, which is kind of crazy, like we kind of talked about. I think rookies aren't really viewed as safe picks, but in previous years, rookies are kind of debunking that as, I mean, you see rookies every year at every position now are kind of fantasy winning picks. And I think Omarion Hampton, the Chargers didn't pick him in the first round to not use him this year. Najee Harris does not scare me off in the slightest. Omarion Hampton is the better player. Omarion Hampton is going to get a ton of carries. So with my pick, there's some names out here that I really like. I
was debating on Rashee Rice so hard, but I'm just worried about the Chiefs' depth at the wide receiver position. Like, there's a lot of guys there that can really break out and become that wide receiver 1.
It's funny you were saying that. I was just about to say, I mean, people might think because of my icon profile picture right here of my boy Jalen Hurts, that was going to be the pick. I really like Jalen Hurts here, but I am actually going to go with Rashee Rice out of Kansas City. I have him extremely high in my rankings. I would honestly be fine taking him where I took Terry McLaurin or even earlier. I really like Rashee Rice this year. I think he's going to have a great season, kind of build off what he was doing last year before the injury. I think that Chiefs offense is bound to bounce back this season. So in the 5th round, we got Kenneth Walker at the 501, Sutton 502, Montgomery and Mixon. Mixon at the 504 is such a great value, I think. And then a wide receiver run right here. So I could really go anywhere right here. Probably not wide receiver. I got 3 receivers.
Yep.
But in this range, there's some names I like here. And I'm actually,
to be honest, Olave. I really think that his long-term potential is there. But Olave is really expecting Tyler Shuck to break out this year.
I mean, he is the RB1, or not RB1. What am I talking?
Wide receiver 1.
He's the wide receiver 1 with almost no competition. Even if Shuck isn't the greatest, he still should be able to. I mean, if he stays healthy, the concussions were a major thing. If he were to stay healthy and catch, he should be in that 25% of the target share. Like, he should have a ridiculous target share next season. And you know what? I think I just talked myself into it. I am going to go with Chris Olave here at the 5'10". He's really been shooting up my rankings this past couple of days, honestly. And I'm going to take him here at the 5'10", and I am loaded on receiver.
And not just that, but you're loaded at quality receivers. Like if we were, and this is not to poke fun, but if you were to go back 2 years, your roster literally are top flight players at all of their positions. Obviously, Rashee Rice wasn't in the league, but Terry McLaurin been a consistently great wide receiver. Derrick Henry, consistently great running back. Chris Olave, when healthy, a very consistent wide receiver. So I love what you're building there. I just don't know where I'm going to go here because my guy just got taken, Tedoroa McMillan.
Yeah, you can honestly go anywhere here. You got your tight end. You got some running backs. You got Marvin Harrison, who has the potential to be a wide receiver one, a top 12 guy this year. So you could – I see a quarterback name there. I wouldn't hate it. It wouldn't be my pick, but, I mean –
I got a crazier one for you. You know what? There's a guy out there who, to be honest, I don't believe in. But you know what? I'm going to believe for just right now because I think that his quarterback could save him from retirement hell. And that is a guy that I'm going to take right now, a little bit down there, a Mr. Travis Kelce. I'm going to go double tight end for this because we got 2 flexes. So I have the ability to put him in there and be able to make this work. So right now, I got a team looking with Christian McCaffrey, Omarion Hampton, Marvin Harrison, Brock Bowers, and Travis Kelce. So obviously, I still need a wide receiver and a running back. Where do I go here?
That's a pick right there. I mean, I don't think I would have gone double tight end. I'm not a double tight end guy, but I do really like Travis Kelce a lot. I was really eyeing him up at the 603, so that's twice now I've been sniped by you.
Well, to be honest, this one might be another snipe because I just have to take this man off the board because if he hits, oh my God, he's going to be my fantasy winner, and I hope I can tell everybody about him now because I am big time on this guy. A nice running back out of Denver named R.J. Harvey. I think that the potential is there, especially if you compare R.J. Harvey on a crazy way with a guy like Bo Nix. Oh, those two together are going to be franchise winners right there.
Absolutely. R.J. Harvey, a great running back. I was looking at him as one of my next picks, as well as Isaiah Pacheco, who just went. He's another guy like Olave who's kind of been rising my ranks this season. He should be fully healthy and ready to bounce back. I think Pacheco could be a steal in the middle rounds of drafts. If you're going with the strategy that seems like I'm going with the no RBs, if you get loaded at tight end and some wide receivers, maybe an elite quarterback, I would not mind having Isaiah Pacheco. I mean, you don't want him as your RB1. It's a little too risky, but as your RB2, that's a fantastic. I feel very comfortable with that. But, we're going to go with a different guy. We're going to go with another guy who's rising my ranks right now, and that is Quinshon Judkins, rookie running back out of the Cleveland Browns. I think, they have no Nick Chubb. I think he's just going to eat into a bunch of carries. He's going to volume his way to an strong RB2 season, and, he has the upside for more. So I really like Quinshon Judkins there as my RB2.
I 100% agree. And to be honest, the way he ran in college, I'm super excited to see what he's going to do, especially in an offense that doesn't understand who their quarterback is. Who they do know? Their running back. So that dude's going to get the carries. He does have Dylan Sampson behind him, but I do not think he is even in the same tier of running back. I think it's more akin to we were just talking about him, the running back from the Jets. Why am I blanking right now?
Breece Hall?
Breece Hall. There we go. Breece Hall and oh my God. Why can I not think of any of these names right now? Yeah, Breece Hall and his backup. That's what it reminds me of. The difference between Quinshon and Sampson is a big enough gap that he is the running back one at Cleveland.
Absolutely. I was wondering. I had a guy that I was eyeing up. It was Trevion Henderson. I guess I'm just blind. He went there. I was like, he has to be here somewhere, but
I agree.
That's unfortunate. That's who I was debating on here, and I didn't see him go. So I was like, oh my gosh, that's a steal here. But and now here's where it gets interesting. I have only gone. I got 4 receivers, 2 running backs. I mean, with our roster, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, tight end, and 2 flex guys. So I can, honestly, I could go with a quarterback here or a tight end, or I could, continue building the depth. And I think depth wins championships.
I agree.
With that being said, I'm going to take Jacoby Myers, wide receiver 1 for Las Vegas. Had a fantastic season last season, just short of 1,000 yards, I believe. And I'm going to take him here as my first guy on the bench, and I love having him as, he's my wide receiver 5. So
that's crazy that you have that stacked of a wide receiver group.
Yeah, I love that pick right there. I mean, just to be able to say Jacoby Myers is my wide receiver 5, maybe shallow on other positions, but we'll see.
I agree, but I think you got PPR winners, man.
That's what we're going for. Now you're on the clock. You got your running backs. I'd imagine receiver is kind of a need right here. So, I mean, you might not like that I just stole one of the top guys in Jacoby Myers, but who do you have your eye on here?
I wanted Bo Nix, but of course Team 11 takes Teddarella McMillan and Bo Nix, the 2 players that I wanted on my team. So now I don't even know where I'm going to go. To be honest, I could go another running back for some depth because you're going to need it at times. Quarterbacks, when we go to look at those, Kyler Murray, Brock Purdy, you've got some guys later on that I really feel like we could get later on. So for that reason, I'm
right there.
He is, but I really like pairing them with somebody. So for that reason, I'm going to have to really think about it. I'm going to have to go Kyler Murray if I'm going to be honest. I want to pair him with Marvin Harrison. Go get that. If it was either him or Caleb Williams, but to be honest with this first one, it's Kyler Murray.
I really love that.
Yeah, as long as he stays healthy, he's going to be great. Now, obviously, I do need that wide receiver 2 here rather than going for running back depth. Having 3 running backs means I have the depth I could handle. Now, really, when I go to look at wide receiver, now, in my opinion, is where it's really thin. I'm really betting on guys becoming something more than what they currently are or what I feel about them. Guys that I'm looking at, Deebo Samuel, wide receiver 2 behind your Terry McLaurin, but also kind of gets the ball out of the backfield on occasion. But then again, does that team really need that this year? Jaden is ascending and everything like that. Same thing, Cooper Kupp, like we talked about before. JSN has played a lot in the slot. Cooper Kupp excelled in the slot. So Cooper Kupp is expecting a high target share. I'm kind of all over the place with this one. So you know what? I might as well put my money where my mouth is, and I'm going to go deep to 115. Let's see if you can get to 115 and see that name.
Oh, yeah.
Boom, Emeka Egbuka, the guy who I believe, even as a Carolina Panthers fan, I like Emeka Egbuka. In fact, I actually tweeted out that Emeka Egbuka is going to be a better wide receiver than Teddarella McMillan of my Carolina Panthers. I truly think he's the wide receiver 1 of the class. I'm excited for this. And, hey, I only need him to be wide receiver 2. I don't need him to do a whole lot. Just go out there and catch some balls.
Yeah, I really like that pick right there. Egbuka, go get your guy. If you really like him, go get your guy. And Team 11 continues the snipe job. I was really eyeing Brian Robinson to be my RB3. I'm not a huge B-Rob guy, but I needed a running back, and he was the best available by far to me. Now I'm in a tough position. I could actually, no, I'm not. I think Baker Mayfield, he's kind of slid too far in this draft, in my opinion. I typically don't take a quarterback in the 8th, 9th, 10th round. At that point, I'd rather just wait until, get a guy like I'm lying.
What about Jalen Warren?
I'm going to no. Oh, yes, that's my pick. I'm going to get my tight end here. I am going to get a top 5 tight end in my rankings. That is Evan Ingram of the Denver Broncos. I think he's going to eat into some targets in that offense. I think Bo Nix is going to feed him as a check down option, and in PPR that fits perfectly. And it fills my tight end needs. So I'm really enjoying my team right now. I would not mind having this team in come August.
I agree, and I think you're in a pretty solid position to not only fade a quarterback here if you really wanted to, but to be honest, go get more depth. You've got the 2 running backs. You're going to need a substitute at some point, but I feel like there's a lot of great running back depth a lot later in this draft, or at least potential.
There's some guys down there. I'm looking at the running backs right now, and I have my mind made up. I need a guy who is going to go out there and play and get some targets in case one of these guys go down. I'm going to take Javonte Williams. Not a fan of him as a player that much anymore, but, he should have the starting job, and volume is king in Dallas. So I'm going to take Javonte Williams here at the 9-10. Not a sexy pick, but I just needed the depth. Kind of felt gross doing that. There was a lot of names that I like at this point, but I kind of boxed myself in to take a running back at this point. And now you're kind of free. You
kind of free.
You could use another wide receiver. You only have 2, but I feel like wide receivers.
I agree. And there's a lot of names that people are not thinking of. So for this first one, to be honest, if I want wide receiver depth, I've got to pick between 2. I'm going to pick between 3 names, and we're going to make that decision right now. I'm either going to take Darnell Mooney, wide receiver 2 in Atlanta. Drake London is obviously going to get the majority of the target share, but I don't need Mooney to be a wide receiver 1. The chance that London goes down and Mooney becomes the 1, he's done that before, so I believe in him there, especially in Michael Penix. My other option could be Luther Burden, rookie. I think that the potential is absolutely there. I loved him in college. I think that the boom potential is much higher than the bust potential. And the only other one that I would take here would be Marvin Mims, wide receiver 2 in Denver. And in my opinion, going to get a lot of balls, especially from Bo Nix. We obviously know that the tight end you took, Evan Ingram, is going to eat up a lot, assuming he stays healthy. He's going to be that wide receiver 2 there. So Mims is most likely wide receiver 3. I just don't know. Am I betting that Burden breaks out over a guy like Rome Odunze? Probably not. So for that reason, I'm going to go make it easy here. I'm going to go get Darnell Mooney. I believe in him just a tiny bit more. And even as a Panthers fan, I can't believe it. My last 2 picks were Bucks, Falcons. So that hurts a little bit.
I really like the Darnell Mooney pick right there. And with the going back to back here, you could go and get another guy that you were talking about.
I could go get a Marvin Mims. I could go get somebody like that. But you know who I believe in more? A guy who I think is going to finish top 5 at his position, and a guy who we're going to look back on and be like, how did we have anybody ranked higher than him at his position? And that's the tight end in Chicago. Yep, triple tight end, Colston Loveland.
Running goal line formation out here on me.
Oh, yeah, dude. I think that there's so much potential there, and especially with the way that this team is built. I mean, Christian McCaffrey, Omari, and Hampton going to be my running back 1s. Wide receiver 1's going to be Harrison and Egbuka. If Egbuka for some reason doesn't pop, hey, I got Darnell Mooney. I've even got a Colston Loveland that I could even, to be honest, throw in that flex 2 position and run triple tight end. So the possibilities are endless.
I like I said, I know that you love Loveland, and I love that you just go and get your guy. Go and get your guy. It kind of bit me earlier. I wanted McCaffrey, and I did not get him because I tried to get too cute with it, and I didn't get him. So I am up on the clock here. I have 3 running backs. I have plenty of receivers. I got my tight end. Still need a quarterback. I'm thinking of who I'm trying to pick here. I don't need a wide receiver. I do like Michael Pittman as a talent. Kind of difficult to project that Indianapolis pass catching situation. So I'm going to avoid him.
I agree 100%.
Mason is a good name to look out for. Tajay Spears.
Yeah, Coleman too.
Quarterbacks. And you know what? I'm going to go with Zach Charbonnet, running back out of Seattle. And I did it again. I tried to get too cute, and the quarterback I was eyeing up has gone. I really wanted Dak Prescott, and that did just blew up in my face. So we have to get a quarterback here, and luckily there's a guy that I still like with super high upside, and that is Justin Fields of the New York Jets. I honestly feel like, Nick, Justin Fields, he can finish as a top 5 quarterback in fantasy football this year. Getting him here in the 11th rounds, I'm thrilled with that.
I agree with you. I think Fields has so much potential, and I think with what we saw from Darnold the past year, the first place you go might not be the place you stay. And I'm going to say that to all of my Carolina Panthers fans here now too. Bryce Young might be so good, he's too good for the Carolina Panthers. So in the same vein as him, I think Fields has the opportunity to truly blossom in a place that could really help him succeed. And I think there's a scenario where the Jets with Justin Fields win more games than the Steelers. I think it's a very slim margin, but I think it's a margin nonetheless. Fantasy-wise, doesn't care about wins. So that's a whole separate one. And look at the names that I still see on there. Luther Burden and Marvin Mims.
They made it their way around.
You know what? I'm going to go crazy here. With the intention that you took Javonte Williams, running back for the Cowboys, I'm going to take his backup, Jaden Blue, the rookie. Big fan of rookies. Everybody that drafts with me knows that. But here is my question: Burden or Mims? I'm probably leaning.
You know
Mims.
You know who I'm gonna say.
You're gonna say Burden, aren't you?
Potentially.
I love Burden. Don't get me wrong, but my concern with that is, in a world where Burden makes sense. Now, don't get me wrong. We're in the 12th round. It makes sense now. But in a world where he's truly a wide receiver 2 at minimum, we're in a scenario where either DJ Moore's hurt or traded, and we are in a scenario where Rome Odunze either doesn't work or Burden is immediately as a rookie better. So that's where he gets to that level for me. I could also take Bishal Tootin, who apparently might become running back number 1 somehow, because apparently he can run faster than Speedy Gonzalez. But I don't know. I'm worried about that. So for that one, I have to go safe. You know what? I'm going to go even crazier because I haven't taken a Panther yet. Rashid Shaheed. I have now taken a Falcon, a Buck, and a Saint. Nobody can say I am unbiased or I'm too biased.
Team 11 has definitely been watching Blitz Sports Media fantasy football videos because they have sniped me at least 4 or 5 times this round, and this one was the one that hurt the most. If you've watched these videos, you know that I love Luther Burden. I think he's going to be fantastic in the NFL. Definitely a little biased, but also I just think he has the path to become fantastic for fantasy football as early as this year. He's a slot dominant guy. They get Ben Johnson. You know who was slot dominant in a Ben Johnson's offense? Amon-Ra St. Brown. And I think Luther Burden is just as talented as a guy like Amon-Ra St. Brown. And to get him in the 12th round is an insane steal. And it hurts my feelings that I will not have him on my team.
Oh, you can make everything better. Look, Kyle Pitts is still there.
That did catch my eye. Kyle Pitts is still there. Maybe this is the year where things turn around for him. But I'm just going to look through my team. I have my quarterback. My lineup is set. Fields at quarterback. I got some running backs. I got receivers. I could really go anywhere with this. And you know what? I'm not usually a guy who would do this, but I have the depth at the other positions. No running backs are really standing out to me.
Nope.
At this point in time, maybe Isaac Garendo, or at this point you're just shooting for some handcuffs. Never a bad idea. Especially a Christian McCaffrey handcuff. J.K. Dobbins is not a bad pick here either in Denver. I'm going to go with the upside. Maybe it's a meme. I still believe in Kyle Pitts.
I'll forever believe in Kyle Pitts.
I'm going to believe in him. He's too good to bust, even though he will. I'm going to take Kyle Pitts there, shooting for the upside. Maybe this is his year.
Well, there's a rumor that he could be on the move to the Dolphins with the recent trade
true.
with Jonnu Smith.
Love that.
So, yeah, that could absolutely have him break out. And to be honest, if there's no crazy changes, I still want my Kyle Pitts to the Chiefs to happen. But, hey, maybe that's a pipe dream.
And so I am back up on the clock, and Isaac Garendo has gone, Tyler Algier, Ray Davis, some of the better handcuffs in fantasy football. I have one bench spot remaining, and then kicker and a defense, but I don't know who I'm looking at here. You know what? I'm actually going to go with Trevor Lawrence, a quarterback, so I can kind of play the matchups with Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence. I really like Trevor Lawrence. I think he has the ability to finish as a top 12 quarterback this season, which would be amazing for this streaming purposes where I get him here in the 13th. I feel like that would be – the upside is worth it here in the 13th. And, Nick, who are you taking here at the end of the 13th?
At the end of the 13th, before I take a kicker, because I'm definitely taking a kicker with my next pick, I'm in kind of a weird place. Do I go quad tight end and go take Mason Taylor? I love him for the Jets. I think he's going to be
Absolutely.
great. Justin Fields is going to be awesome. But do I really want a fourth tight end? Yes, this is double flex and everything like that. But and then I look at guys like Xavier Legette for my Carolina Panthers. I would love to add him, but to be honest, I really think he's wide receiver 3 in Carolina behind Adam Thielen. So for that reason, I'm just going to go with the one that I feel like is the safest, kind of like what you were saying, handcuff with somebody. Instead, I'm going to handcuff Dylan Sampson, backup running back. I think he's going to do well. I think that if there are any injuries ahead of him, hey, he's ready to go. And to be honest, if that happens, I have a great trade value at this 13th round of taking him. And if somehow Christian McCaffrey, my entire running back room falls apart, I still feel like he could do something. Kicker, though, this one's going to be super easy. Kicker number 1 for me, Tyler Loop, Baltimore. I don't think I need to say anything else. They have great kickers all the time. No more Justin Tucker. Tyler Loop is the way to go.
See, I like that thought process, but I would have taken, if I was going to go kicker, I'd go the kicker that Team 11 just took, and that is that dude, Brandon Aubrey. He is a freak.
I got to believe in the rookies, because if it's right, it's going to pay off long term.
I like it. I'm going to go with I'm not a fan of this far out from the season. I'm going to give myself an extra guy who could, maybe injuries unfortunately happen or somehow he finds his way into a role. I'm going to go with a post-hype sleeper right here. I was all over him last year, and I am all over him at the end of drafts this year. He's basically free, and that is Jalen Wright, running back for the Miami Dolphins. I mean, they just traded Jonnu Smith, and they let go of Raheem Mostert in the offseason. So Jalen Wright should be the backup to Devon Achane, and Devon Achane has a history of getting injured. So I feel like Jalen Wright is basically a free elite, borderline elite running back handcuff to have in fantasy football. I really like that pick. And defense, I don't know how the best defense in the NFL is still available. I'm going to take my hometown Philadelphia Eagles just because they are the best, and you can debate a wall if you disagree.
God damn it, that was my pick. I was like, yes, I'm going to get it from him. No. This one's a tough one, if I'm going to be honest.
Who are you going to end this draft with?
You know what? I'm going to end it the same way I ended my last pick, up in Baltimore with the Ravens defense.
Ravens defense is the pick. So that is our mock draft episode. 12-team fantasy PPR, 2 flex, 1 quarterback, 1 tight end league. Honestly, I like both of our teams, and honestly, I like Team 11 because Team 11 sniped me a bunch of times. So I have
Team
to
11 might have a sleeper team right there. Like all the guys that we were kind of like, okay, I'm kind of on the fence about, or we would talk about, and then immediately they would take them.
Exactly.
They know something.
Exactly right. Nick, before we head out here, looking at this draft, who was your favorite pick of your draft? Who did you think you got at the best value?
Oh, RJ Harvey. Getting him 6'1" is a fantastic place. I've seen him go as high as 3rd round. I've seen him go over some crazy people. The fact that he kind of fell in the perfect place. Now, obviously, that is because the J.K. Dobbins news, adding him to that running back room might hurt his target share a tiny bit. I truly don't think so. I feel like he's going to be a backup to RJ Harvey when the time comes. I'm super excited for him. I'm big in on him. And like I said about all the rookies, I would much rather take the gamble on a lot of these rookies like Mason Taylor and stuff before. But RJ Harvey's mine. 6'1", I'm happy.
I love it. I would, looking at my team, trying to figure out what value I like the most. I like a lot of these guys. Nothing insane value stands out for me on my team for this mock draft. Although the more I think about it, the more I really like Justin Fields here at the end of the 11th round. I feel like that could be a steal ahead of guys like, or behind guys like Drake May, Dak Prescott, Stroud, Love, Caleb Williams. I really liked Dak, but I'm not really that invested in Drake May or Stroud or even Jordan Love this year. Justin Fields, though, He gives your team that upside to go out and win you any week with his legs. Another pick that I really liked was Rashee Rice here in the early 4th round. I feel like he has the potential to go out and be a wide receiver 1, and to make him my 3rd drafted wide receiver kind of feels like that could be insane value. So I really liked my team. I really like your team and Team 11. So that was a great mock draft Monday, Nick.
I agree. I think Team 11 is the team to beat right now. So
yeah,
hopefully
absolutely.
You're ready to clobber them a few times.
If you guys liked this, hit that subscribe button, turn on post notifications, comment down below which team you liked the most and which values really stood out to you. And, we're going to be trying to do some mock drafts every single Monday from now until the season starts. We're going to get some guests in here. Maybe we can get some subscribers. So if you want to be in a future mock draft episode, comment down below, say that you're subscribed, and maybe you will be in an episode. Nick, anything you want to say to the viewers?
I better see a lot of comments down there, guys. I need to get you guys in these slots so we can show Steven right here exactly how we do it. Okay? Multiple tight ends, multiple running backs. It doesn't matter. Throw caution to the wind. Just make sure you win your draft.
Absolutely. Guys, thank you for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.